So I've traveled to about over 25 different countries, and I'm not rich. So this is just me sharing information of how I've been able to travel to over 25 different countries. So here goes. Number one, look for low-cost fares. There are lots of websites out there that can help you find low-cost fares. My go-to is skyscanner.net. So on Skyscanner, you can search for pretty much any country you want to travel to, the times that you want to travel at, and then it shows it from most expensive to least expensive, or however you want the search results to come up. So skyscanner.net is a really good way that I found to find low-cost airfares. If you're traveling within the UK, for trains, you can try trainline.com. That helps you to find really cheap fares. And if you're looking for coaches within the UK, there's nationalexpress.com, or National Express. So that helps you to find low-cost coach fares within the UK. If you look online, if you're looking for different countries, you can find the same kind of thing to find low-cost fares, low-cost trains, low-cost coaches, and so on. Number two, book well in advance. If you book well in advance, you will generally find cheaper flights. What I do is I actually plan my travel a whole year in advance, and so I start looking for fares for whichever countries I'm trying to go to from 12 months in advance. This means I've got a budget, I understand what price I'm kind of looking for, and as soon as it falls within the price that I'm looking for, I book my flights. So planning ahead always helps, or generally helps, with finding lower cost fares. So related to planning in advance, or booking well in advance, is looking out for sales. So they're usually sales towards the beginning of the year, some springtime sales and some summertime sales, potentially some winter sales as well. So look out for sales that come online for where you're trying to travel to. Again, if you've planned in advance, you know which countries you're trying to travel to, and then from there you can keep looking out for sales, and then once sales are there and available, you just buy your ticket as soon as it falls within the price range that you're looking for. When you're actually in the country in question, how can you then afford to travel and, keep costs down? One way to do that once you're in the country is to use public transport. Now I know the easier or sometimes what can be the safer thing to do depending on the country is to use Uber. But Uber has a tendency to be a lot more expensive than taking public transport. Another good thing about taking public transport is that you can actually understand the city a lot better through taking public transport, because you learn how to navigate the city and the country in question just like a local person would who takes public transport day in, day out. So do consider taking public transport. That's a way to really save money when you travel. There are lots of deals for tourists, usually like 2-day or 3-day passes on public transport, which can be a lot more cost effective. Another thing to do to help you to be able to afford to travel is to actually cook as much as possible whilst you're in that country. Yes, you want to go and eat out and enjoy the local food and cuisine, really make the most of it, but it doesn't have to be every single meal that you're there. So if you're staying in, say, a hostel and it has you can have breakfast there, because you can buy breakfast from the local supermarket and then store it in the hostel. That's a great way to save on breakfast. If there's a kitchen as well that allows you to cook, then maybe try to just cook 1 meal per day and then have 1 meal out. These kind of things can help to minimize costs, which make it far more possible to be able to travel. So related to this is shopping in local supermarkets and local grocers. They have a tendency to be cheaper than, say, going to restaurants for every single meal. You can find ingredients there to buy and cook something, or you can buy cheap sandwiches or pastry, fruits. Minimize the number of expensive touristy things that you do. So when I travel, I try to have 2 or 3 key tourist things that I try to do. So when I went to South Africa, I picked Table Mountain, I picked going to Robben Island, and I picked doing a tour which included things like Chapman's Peak, but I passed on doing things like a helicopter ride or doing a safari. So pick 2 or 3 main touristy things that you really want to do, and then don't do the others. That way you can keep your costs down when you're trying to afford to travel. Really think about what's important, what it is that you really want to gain from the travel experience, and focus on those things, so that way you don't start spending money on things that don't really add as much value to you. Another one is look out for free things that you can do when you travel. So there are lots of free things when you generally travel to different countries. Just going for a city walk, which you organize yourself, walking around the city. It's great exercise. You get to do it at a leisurely, relaxed, strolled pace, or however pace you want to do it. You can just see the sights. There are also generally free parks, generally free museums. Google online to the country you're going to and just type in cheap or free things to do in the country that you're going to, you generally get a lot of really good results. It's what I often do. I love parks, I love free museums. Yeah, also look at things like free tasting sessions. So usually free food tasting sometimes that you can find if you Google on them or you just ask around. Supermarkets as well often have free tasting stands in the supermarket. So look out for free things to do when you travel. Another way to afford to travel is to share costs. So travel with someone, travel with your family, with your friends, maybe stay with a relative when you go overseas. Look for relatives who live in countries that you're interested in traveling to and who would be able to give you accommodation so you can save on accommodation costs. Obviously maybe buying them some gifts from the country you've come from, just a little token gift such as a souvenir, fridge magnet, those kind of things can help to, you know, sweeten the relationship. So yeah, look for people that you can share costs with. Consider sharing accommodation with friends or family if you're going to travel with them. You could also often get discounts group discounts if you go as a group to certain places or attractions or even to restaurants, so do consider that. So try to travel with other people if you can. Make some friends that you can travel with. Likewise, sharing with family and friends in accommodation as well can help you to reduce costs if you share a room. And finally, ask other people who have been to that country what kind of things that you can do in those countries that don't cost as much, but are still really fun to do, that you'd really enjoy to do. So use this comment sections below to share anything that you know in your country that's free and fun to do. So that, you know, we're sharing the love, we're sharing those experiences to make travel far more possible for as many people as possible. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any other comments or tips, do drop them as well in the comment section. If you like the video, please click the thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Peace.